Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always with me, my man with the master plan in the Johnny Cash shirt of all shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Good, man. Can't complain. I was listening to Johnny Cash on the way home today. I mean, purely coincidental, but God, I
Oh,
love that guy. I love that
oh
man.
yeah, classic.
Oh, he was
You watch his
amazing.
movie that they had out on him a couple
Yeah,
years ago?
yeah. Walk the Line with Jack Queen
Yeah, Walk the Line.
Phoenix
That's
and Reese Witherspoon.
he
I
did a
thought they
good
did.
job of playing Johnny, man. He nailed it, eh?
Both of them did, though. I'll be honest. I think both of them did an amazing job.
Yeah.
That Jacqueline Phoenix, man, he's a bit of a character. He's a bit of an eccentric, but dude, that guy can act.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like he was phenomenal. Johnny Cash, the Joker. Have you seen him in the Joker?
No, but I heard about that. That's a pretty dark one, eh?
It's really dark, but I don't think there's anyone else who could have pulled it off the way he did, just with his
Didn't he go a little bit
mannerisms.
crazy after all that because he lived the character too much?
Dude, they all went crazy, didn't they? Look at
Yeah,
Heath Ledger. He played the Joker. He ended up killing himself.
that's crazy because they really live in that character, man. It
He
becomes
lived
real.
it. Like, yeah, legitimately, these two guys lived the characters. But we're going to talk about a whole different set of characters because last night was Monday Night Raw. We're 3 weeks away from Money in the Bank. The card is shaping up very nicely.
It is.
I think we got all 6 guys in the men's Money in the Bank. We got one left to qualify for the women's, and we got our supplementary matches starting to formulate. So let's get right into Monday Night Raw. First thing that happened is they're basically taking out all the old titles. So Rhea gets hers today.
Which I like that. They're revamping and making them look different. They always do that every few years. I like that.
I think it's really good, and I think
Keep it
what they've
fresh.
done this time is made it smart, right? Like the women's title is representative of the world heavyweight title, so to speak. So she is now referred to as the women's world heavyweight champion, right?
I like that. Yeah.
Right. Whereas Asuka is considered the WWE women's champion.
Yeah.
Right. So, and both belts are representative of each other. If you think about it, Asuka's got more of the universal style where, and I'm a big fan. I like Seth's and Rhea's belt better, to be honest. I just like the
Better than
look of
Rollins?
it. I do, because it reminds me of Big Gold, and I've always been a big fan of Big Gold,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I don't know where it's over there in the corner, but in 2006, I bought the replica Big Gold belt. Because I just loved it. I just thought it was amazing. To be
It is.
fair, I mean, I always liked the wing belt. That's my favorite WWE belt, that one Hogan had near the end, and
Yeah.
Rock and whatnot before they switched it. The winged eagle belt is my probably the best version of the
What
WWE.
about John Cena's infamous spinner belt?
I mean, for the time, I think it
I
did
didn't
pretty
hate it. Like some people were trash. It
good.
wasn't that
You know what?
bad.
I had nothing against it, honestly, to be fair, but I think
No.
it was just a marketing play, to be completely honest.
And
I
that was
mean,
John Cena's thing, the street image, the
well,
rapper image. So it goes with it. It fit
well,
the
dude, at
time.
that time, everybody had spinners. Like spinners were a big thing at that time as
Yeah.
well. If you think about it, let's be realistic. Every bloody uncle in Abbotsford, let's be fair, in their safari van had those Canadian Tire clip-on spinners. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it was a legit thing. I mean, right to the point where you could buy them for like $15 a cap at Canadian Tire. I
Yeah. I
mean,
know.
I never went down that road myself because I just couldn't justify it in any shape or form. But every rendition of the belt, I feel, has had some kind of,
They've
you
all
know,
been cool in a different way and represent the time
they
that it's
all
in.
have. They all have. Of all of them, I'll have to say I just didn't like the current renditions. It didn't appeal to me.
You
It
didn't
just
like
didn't.
Roman's the blue belt. I like the blue belt that was there.
I just didn't like the big W in it. That's it. It just looked too plain. You know, I like, you know how you like the big man and you're the
Yeah.
bodies, right?
Strong
And for
guys. Yeah.
me, I like the belts too. For me, the belts represent a lot. It represents
Oh yeah.
you and whatnot. So the cooler looking the belt is, in my opinion, the more intriguing and appealing it is to the consumer.
What do you think has better looking belts? AEW, WWE, or the four main boxing belts? Which ones do you think? What belt do you think looks the best?
Of all the belts in the world, I'd have to go with the ring belt because of the history on that belt. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's the simplest looking. It's just frilly. It reminds me of Rocky Balboa. It represents the lineal champion. I mean, of all the belts out there, that's probably the oldest one
Speaking
going.
of Rocky, I have to bring this up. I've been waiting to
Please.
bring it up, and since you segued it,
Yeah.
have you or our listeners watched the new show with Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa King? It is great. It's on Paramount. I just started watching it a couple weeks ago. It is really good.
No, it's on my list. Again, unfortunately, yeah, I really want to watch it. Tulsa King. It's a story about him being an ex-mobster,
Yeah,
gets
come
out
out
of
of jail and has
jail,
some
and
also.
they basically kick him out of the town and send him to Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, where he
Yeah.
tricks over. Yeah, he
And
just
the
comes.
hijinks and the stories begin from there.
Yeah, it's really good. I've only seen about
Good,
4 or
eh?
5 episodes, but it's really good. I recommend it.
No, definitely, yeah,
I
guys,
don't
check it
watch
out.
many shows, but that's one that I do recommend.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to find
The time.
TV time. Well, forget time. Okay, I mean, I'm not, and again, guys, girls, we're not complaining in any way here. It's just if I'm not consuming wrestling or boxing,
That's the thing.
I'm editing. If I'm not editing, I'm working. If I'm not working, I'm with the family. You know what I mean? It's just
Or
always
we're
something.
chasing interviews.
And chasing interviews and always fishing. It's just so there's always something going on, Chance. And honestly, my TV time is 8:30 to 10:30.
Yes,
That's what that's when I shut down boxing. That's when I shut down everything in my head, and I use those 2 hours to kind of do me, sort of
Yeah.
a deal. And in that time, to be completely honest, I try to find things that I'm not wasting time on. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to. I don't want to watch a program or anything that's gonna make me fuck, man. I just lost a half an hour. Sort of a
Yeah.
deal. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's very
Gotta be
selective. It's
selective.
hard. It's hard to find a program, and it's hard. Like right now, Tough is out, so I really want to watch that.
That looks good.
Right.
The Ultimate
Right.
Fighter, yeah.
So yeah. So like I have to be like for myself anyway. It's very pick and choose what you're gonna do. Sort of
Is
a
that
deal.
new episode on tomorrow or Thursday? I've seen a preview
No,
for it.
it relaunches every Tuesday. So this is episode 3. In fact,
It's on tonight.
it's on right now. It starts in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
That's
only
good.
problem. That's the only shitty part of it. This is the one time living on the West Coast sucks because the show
Yeah.
comes on at
But
3.
usually we get it pretty good though.
We bloody hell, man. Like think about it. Super Bowl. How awesome is Super Bowl for us? I mean, the game finishes at 7, and you can still go out in the evening if you want.
Yeah.
Whereas
East Coast
back,
10 o'clock.
you're going to bed. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I
much
know.
done. Dude, okay, so Monday Night Raw. Let's get to it, bro. The show opens up with Rhea Ripley coming out, getting her brand new title, as we already talked about. The crowd is cheering her. I think everybody really wants to get behind her. They really like her until that idiot Dom shows his face. He comes out, and this guy's got genuine heat. If you like him or not, the guy's got amazing heat.
Absolutely.
You can't touch that. I mean,
No.
that's organic. I mean, the guy really either he's truly hated by everyone, or he's done such a great job with this character. And
It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both, right? Absolutely. But he comes up, puts a strap on her. I thought they were going to kiss, which would probably brought up Buddy Murphy, who's a part of AEW, her current boyfriend. I wonder how he feels. Like, he's always tweeting and stuff saying, yeah, at the end of the day, she's still my girl, right? Like in the stories, he's hers, but he's mine.
Could bug him a little bit on the inside, maybe.
It's gonna bug him, and it's also gonna bug a guy like who's that big brother who just went over to AEW? Keith Lee. It's gotta bother, yeah, because his woman Mia Yim, his wife is in WWE.
Once Vince figures out that Keith and Buddy are getting jealous, he's gonna push that line even worse to rub him the wrong way. That's the kind of guy Vince is, right?
Right, and then Zelina Vega, her husband, Aleister Black, he's in AEW.
Yeah.
So you got 3 guys who should have just waited and would have probably been brought back. I don't know about Buddy, maybe not Buddy, but
no, I don't think Buddy.
To be honest, I think they totally dropped the ball on Aleister. Aleister, to me, is more of I think Aleister could have done a better job than Bray Wyatt did coming back.
I think so.
Right? In terms, because they're both that dark character, they both have that dark demeanor to them.
But Aleister can work better in the ring than Bray can work.
Well,
He can really
why
go.
I'm saying that he is more of the complete package overall. I think if Aleister had held out and waited, he would have probably been brought back.
Maybe did some stuff backstage that rubbed Biddy the wrong way. Maybe he's like, yeah, see, they got a budget cuts too. You can't keep everybody, right?
No, you can't keep everybody, but they're like I said. I mean, yeah, we've talked about this ad nauseum, right? We've wasted our breath many an hour on this, and ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, until something changes, I don't think anyone that was brought back has, and you agree with me, has really kind of shined or kind of jumped through anything, you know? I mean, I
No.
can't think of anyone. Karrion Kross, I'm kind of still holding out for because he's big, he's strong, he's got everything
Yeah.
you want. So let's see. Maybe they figure this one out with him and
Maybe.
kind of get it going. All right. So Cody comes out, interrupts them, and talks about last week where he was cheap shotted by Dom Dom, and the issue is challenged, and Rhea accepts it. So Money in the Bank, you got Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio. That's just a match that's gonna happen. A filler match, I guess, to lead up to
Yeah.
SummerSlam or something. You got to keep Cody busy.
Maybe
So-
Brock will come out there and hit Cody and get Dom the win or something to build some more heat for their SummerSlam match.
Well, that's it, right? I mean, it's not going to hurt. The only way it won't hurt Cody to lose is if there is a Brock interference, right? Because that story's not over. There's something got to give, right? So this is perfect.
Yep.
That gives you one more pay-per-view to kind of, work with, and then you're building for SummerSlam in August. So if they play it right, I think you got Brock Cody Part 3 at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they got to have the rubber match to settle the beef.
Yeah, so that's probably going to go down. So we go right into the Cody versus Miz match. So let's reference this quickly. Cody gets jumped by the Miz from behind. Cody turns around, hits him, makes the Miz look really weak. And I don't like that because I think Miz was really building up a lot of steam. And, I was hoping something for the Miz here. But a very simple loss, man. He was handled.
Yep.
I'll give this match a C+. I mean, Cody gets another win, but he keeps getting ready for his feud with Brock. So I mean, everything is in line there.
Yeah.
I thought they did good work with the arm to sell it and whatnot. So I mean,
It
everything
is.
is
That
there,
was well done. Yeah.
right? So I mean, everything's in place there. Okay, match. It doesn't hurt anybody. If I want to pick on something here, I'll just probably have to say that what are they doing with the Miz?
They're just going to keep him as more of like less in-ring stuff and more of the Miz TV stuff, more of a character maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Let's see. But I mean, he's still got a lot. Like I for the first time in a long time, I feel like they're not doing the right by the Miz. I don't know.
He's just been there so long. They don't want. I think it comes down to they don't want to keep him involved in every top story.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, for sure, possibly. We don't know. Well, maybe there's something big for him, right? But how much is there left for him to do? That's the other piece, right? If you look at the two guys, Dolph and Miz, I mean, Miz has had more success than Dolph overall.
Way more. Yeah.
Right? I mean, what's left for the Miz to do? Don't know.
Just hang around, keep collecting checks, and be relevant, I guess.
That's it, man. All right, so here we are. Becky Lynch. So before she comes out to the ring, she passes by Alpha Academy and Maxime Dupuis, who are training. Love her little outfit. I think it's going to be fun when that happens later on tonight. But here's Becky Lynch. She's in the ring for a chat, and she talks about how we've been conditioned to think that the champion is the top dog in the company. I'm paraphrasing, people. Those aren't her exact words. And she had a realization that it's not the champion, and it's the person who has the money in the bank. Perfect way to make it sound important, right? Not to say that the money in the bank isn't, but how else does a former champion get into that match and make it feel important for them? And they did it. They sold it that way. And you know what? Her promo work is amazing. It's really good, passionate. And you can tell she's kind of been around for a while now. Like here comes Chelsea Green. She comes out and she basically talks about. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. What's her name? Zoe Starks comes out first, and they talk about the one thing you can't do is beat Trish Stratus. The second thing you won't be able to do is win Money in the Bank because I'll make sure you don't. Blah blah blah. And Becky goes back saying, "Look, Zoe, you made a big mistake, and eventually we'll correct this mistake as well." And Zoe made a really I love how they kind of break kayfabe here a little bit. So the only reason you ever got famous is because someone punched you in the face, right?
Yeah, that was good.
No, but it's just true, and it's a fact. But I mean, it's what you do with getting punched in the face after.
Yeah, that's true. How you build off of that?
How you build off of that. So that wasn't mentioned. I want to mention it because she took that football and ran. And she didn't stop, and no one could tackle her. Flag football, no one took the tag off of her. Tackle football, she just jumped over everyone, right? Stone Cold, that Crimson Mask, WrestleMania 13, prime example of another incident where that bloody mask changed everything.
Yeah.
And it
It's
only
true.
changed, right? And again, it's the person who had the mask, who had the blood, that allowed the change to happen. So, they can say what they want. Becky's done great.
Absolutely. I totally agree
Right.
with you.
So this leads up to the match with Chelsea Green, and Chelsea comes out talking about the only reason I didn't do anything last week because I didn't want to, hurt my tag team partner's chances of winning. Blah blah blah. Quick match here, nothing to really
Submission,
talk
Becky.
about.
Yeah, Becky taps her out.
Right, yeah, taps her out. Basically, match is over in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. See, for this match, I'd give it not much to this one.
No.
It's hard to imagine Becky being in any danger going into the pay-per-view right now. I think you're just gonna see what we're
Keep her
seeing.
strong. Yeah.
Keep her strong. It's not to say that she's gonna win. I hope she doesn't win. Title, the Money in the Bank are for guys and girls that haven't had the opportunity yet. It's to elevate, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think
I don't see Becky getting it.
well, Becky doesn't need elevating.
No.
Right.
She's already there.
If there's any, I'm just looking at it right now, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll come down to it. All right, let's get back here very quickly. Judgment Day's in the back. Finn Balor says he has a lot on his mind. Priest does too, like qualifying for Money in the Bank alone. More cracks.
Yeah.
More and more cracks.
Starting to break.
Yeah. Money in the Bank qualifying match. Matt Riddle against Damian Priest. Not bad. I think Damian did a better job this week. I think
he does a good Razor's Edge.
Yeah, no, he does a good Razor's Edge. I think he sold really well. I know we've been picking on Damian a lot. I'm trying to find positive things. I don't want to pick on him anymore.
He looked all right last night.
He looked better, which is an indication to me that now that he's getting more and more of the singles matches, he's kind of getting back into his zone, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. There's still room for improvement. I like that spot where he missed the dive and he fell over the desk, the announce table. I thought that was a really cool spot. The end though, it came here. Let me find it here. Blah blah blah. Riddle Springboard is broken up with a hanging headlock driver. Back up. Priest catches him on the ropes, hits the Razor's Edge for the pin at 14 minutes and 20 seconds. At the end of this match, Gunther and Ludwig come out. I can't remember the Italian fellow's name, the guy who doesn't talk. He's not there this week because of what happened to him. Riddle hurt his ankle, so he's out. So basically, those two come out. They stare down. They stare down
Riddle.
They stare down. No, they win in the ring and beat up Riddle. They stare down Damian Priest as he's walking by, hop in the ring, and they beat him up, right? So that's pretty much it. Backstage segment, interesting. Another character change on the horizon. Natalya basically saying that changing is a good thing because she doesn't know how to be herself anymore.
Interesting. So what's she gonna do?
I don't know, man. I don't know how many more changes she has left. I mean,
I think she's coming to the end of her career here.
It's got to be coming to the end. I mean, she's been around for a long time, dude. She's the winningest woman on the roster. I don't know if she's got the most. No, Charlotte has the most titles.
I could see her going to AEW again, like after all this, they let her go. But I mean, I think her time in WWE, she's kind of losing a bit of fanfare, and she's just kind of lost in the shuffle, I guess. Middle of the pack now.
I think maybe a little bit higher up the middle of the pack. Look, I think of her, and she's far more attractive than this woman, and in any way sense of the word, she's kind of like the new Moolah.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming up, she's the one you're going to work with. Yeah. She's going to break you in. She's going to help you. She's going to guide you. And I think because her husband, Tyson Kidd, he's basically, a part of the company doing these kind of things. I can see her transitioning in that role eventually.
Yeah, I can see something like that.
Right. And then she's been around for a while. And I hate to say it, but the women's careers are usually shorter than the men's.
Usually.
Right. Unfortunately. Right. I mean, you get Lita and you get Trish coming back.
But you don't want Lita back, man. She can barely stand.
No, Lita's she's not old, but she's not, what she was.
No, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
Right. But I think that's a lot has to do with her style. Like she was a high flyer, right? She
a lot of injuries, a lot of banging.
She put a lot on the line where Trish was a smart fighter. Like she's a smart wrestler. She preserved herself. And I think that's why she looks as good as she does. And I think that's something we'll see in the next 5 to 6 years as we start to see some of these women, the Charlotte Flairs and the Becky Lynches. I mean, we're not that far away from those four big names. Becky, Charlotte, Bailey, and Sasha are starting on the back nine of their careers.
Yep.
Right? It's an unfortunate thing because it feels just like yesterday those guys were on the scene.
Goes quick, man. Short lifespan in wrestling.
It just shows you how fast it is, and it's unfortunate for the girls. But the harder they work now, they're working stiffer, they're working harder. So that just means that their careers are just probably going to be cut even a little bit shorter now.
Yep, absolutely. It's a short lifespan in wrestling.
Yeah. So we get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They're ready for face Imperium, who interrupt them, and Owens is ready to get annoyed. And I like this little, temper tantrum Kevin Owens sort of a deal. It turns out, through his tantrum, this now becomes a title match. Yep. So we got the main event for the show tonight. So we got a title match tonight. Basically, we have a segment where Indus Sher and Jinder Mahal want to hurt Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander again. So let's see where they go with this, right? They're just building those guys up. India has a big show coming up in September. The company is really, really big on Veer. They want to do something with him. So keep your eyes on that, guys and girls. Out of those three guys, that's the guy they're targeting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ricochet, Bronson Reed, pretty fun match, back and forth. Bronson Reed impresses me again to be able to move the way he does with a guy who's quick and as agile as Ricochet. They worked really, really well together, keeping both guys safe. Perfect. Shinsuke comes in, interferes. Ricochet gets mad. What the fuck are you doing? Sort of a deal.
Gets the win.
Right. Bronson gets the win by DQ. Obviously, I don't think there's any contention here or any kind of heel change that we're looking at. We're just seeing one face looking at the other guy saying, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know better than this. Bronson tries to get something done on both of them, but it turns into a double suplex. That's the only way you're going to get that big man up, right?
Oh, yeah. He's a big.
So we got that. That's basically done. And again, the match, I gave it a B because, like I said, both guys looked good. They worked really well together. The chemistry was there. A big man be able to move the way he does with the smaller man who moves the way he does.
Impressive.
Very impressive. I like Bronson Reed. I hope they get behind him. 2-3 years, this guy should be world champion.
If he keeps up what he's doing, yeah, he's on a great track.
I like it, right? And I'm curious for you though, because I know you don't like the way Kevin looks. What about Bronson though? Like this guy,
but at least Bronson, wears wrestling gear. I don't like those baggy shorts Kevin wears and those cut off shirts that he cuts with his scissors. I don't like that look at all. At least Bronson's a big guy, but he looks like a wrestler. You know what I mean? He moves while he's big, he's strong. Owens is just awkward looking, kind of goofy looking to me. If you could talking about him looking as a wrestler, I have no problem with Bronson. He's big, he's strong, he's fast.
Okay. Right. So Otis is in the same camp then with Bronson.
Yeah, I just don't like those.
Okay. So you just don't like
his landscaper.
You just don't like his costume.
I don't like his attire at all. Yeah.
Okay. So that clears a lot. I thought you just didn't like the
guy.
And
he could, like the thing with Bronson, he's got some chub on him, but he's thick, so you could tell he works out. Same with Otis. You can see Otis is working out. I don't think Kevin Owens ever been in the gym in his life.
Fair enough.
He's got a skinny person. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen Otis? He can lift a lot of weights.
You know what, man? I am gonna work my ass off trying to get Kevin Owens on the show.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I just think it'd be so fun to hear the conversation between you two.
Yeah.
That would be one podcast where I think I just put myself on mute.
Well, I would ask him. I said, "Explain your ring gear to me," because I'm having a hard time understanding it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to get these answers, and I don't think anyone else is going to ask him those kind of questions. But
because I've been saying it for so long. What's up with your ring gear?
That's what I'm saying. That if there's any podcast in this world who's not afraid to ask that question, it's going to be us.
Because if you were to take Kevin Owens' picture, and show 10 guys that never watch wrestling, what does this guy do? They would never guess he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
So that's where that's at.
No, that's hilarious, man. All right, so we get a segment here which went way too long because it affected everything on the show afterwards. We're talking Seth Rollins comes out, and I'm all for the crowd singing his name, singing his song and everything, but man, this one took forever.
Too long.
Like, I love it. I think it's exciting. I think it's fun. but this is where they need to kind of cap the crowd a little bit, right? And that's hard to do. I get that. It's hard to cap the crowd on this, but it's fun as it is. The segment went really, really long. Finn comes out. They go back and forth. Balor goes over the injuries that Rollins gave him in 2016, and now it's time Balor takes it all back at Money in the Bank. That makes Rollins laugh because he's glad to see Balor, has been waiting for 7 years, and Rollins has changed over the years and is the best version of himself. So which Balor is coming, he asks. Is it the version of Balor that beat him, the one that beat him in 2016? Or is it the Balor who's a joke and a bitch now?
Yeah.
I think enter Demon Balor.
Which Balor do you prefer?
I think Finn as a heel overall is really good, and I think he does a really good job. I think he's better as a heel generally than as a face.
Because he's not great on the mic, so if he's a heel, he doesn't got to do as much. He doesn't have to sell himself as much.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just done a good job of being a heel, right? And I think what he's doing with McDonough now. McDonough's that call up from NXT. He's also that Irish kid, and he's pretty ruthless. The shit that he was doing down in NXT is pretty ruthless. Damien's going to get replaced by this guy. I feel this is where they're going with it, right?
I could see that.
Right. So this is kind of where it's going to go. I mean, let's think about it. So the match is made. We got world heavyweight title on the line. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, which is cool. So we got a heavyweight title match there. Damien's in the Money in the Bank. So what if Damien were to win the Money in the Bank and Finn were to win the title? Because they did run into each other backstage afterwards. Well, they were backstage. They did another segment. So this was a Judgment Day heavy show in a way.
Big time.
The segment was really long. So there's a segment backstage, Damien comes up, he says, "Hey, you're looking happier now, that you got your title shot," and they congratulate each other, blah, blah, blah. And then Finn looks at him and goes, "Hey, if you win the Money in the Bank, you're not gonna cash it on me, are you?" And he goes, No, I wouldn't do that, sort of a deal. But hey, man, it's a business, so I'm kind of curious.
Judgment Day is breaking. The seams are coming up.
Look, I mean, if there's anyone in the judgment, well, I don't know, man. Like looking at the roster and everything.
Well, Edge is still around in this. Edge is going to come back and maybe have one more match with one of these guys at SummerSlam or something. But I still think Edge wants a few more matches, so we got to keep Edge in the equation somewhere.
I don't think it's with them anymore, though. I think it goes
done with it.
I think so, man. You've had you and your wife fought them. You fought them fucking 1, 2, 3, 4 WrestleMania. There's 6 matches he's had with these guys in one form or the other.
Yeah,
5 to 6, including WrestleMania. Hell in the Cell. The cap was WrestleMania. He's already beaten Damien. I mean, obviously he can't beat Rhea. Rhea beat the shit out of his wife, so I mean that's done, right? I mean, there's nothing left. I mean, the cap, the icing on this story was him beating Finn, who took over his group, and that story's over, right? I mean, there's not. Let's hope. I mean, there's not much there now. I mean, but then again, I thought Dom was going to become a face after WrestleMania too. So who knows?
You never know, man. Wrestling.
Right. So nobody knows. All right. So right into the title match. Straight up, man. Oh, sorry. I forgot about this one. So right after that, we get Raquel Rodriguez against Shayna Baszler. Quick match, easy peasy. Rousey interferes, and Bayley gets the pin at 2:13. Iron Sheik tribute video was shown. There's Sheiky baby hanging right there over our shirt. So that one hit me hard, dude.
He was one of the most, probably the best entertainer as far as social media goes. His social media posts on Twitter were legendary, man. He never broke his character, right? He's always dogging Hogan, your boy, I'll break your neck, and blah, blah, blah. No, I'll shoot you, I'd beat the F out of anybody.
Yeah. No, I for some reason, we've lost a lot of our favorites and guys that we liked, but this one hit different. This one for me, I don't know. I got a lump.
I think because Sheiky hung on for so long and he was still relevant as far as being on Howard Stern, all the crazy antics he was doing, so it was more fresh in our hearts and minds, I guess.
Sheiky to me goes back to when I was 9. Yeah, 7, 8. between the ages of 7 and 9, that's when I saw Sheik. And you got to think that's a lifetime you've seen this guy.
Yeah.
Watching him beat Bob Backlund. I mean, obviously it was not in real time, but seeing him with Nikolai Volkov, all the stuff that he did there,
Classic.
right? The stuff that
who he really hated is in character Brian Blair.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the time on Twitter, he's like, "F you,
yeah.
good."
No,
Can't even say what he
100%.
says.
No, you can absolutely, right? I mean, everything was making someone humble, and fuck the Hulk Hogan and fuck the B Brian Blair.
Yeah.
Like he was all over the place, man. But all of it was done in jest. But I mean, if you didn't know, you would thought, wow, this guy's fucking angry all the time, right?
Watch him on Howard Stern when you get pissed off and
No,
he got
no,
the
but think
temper.
about it. Like, I guarantee, I almost have a feeling that Hogan wakes up to check his Twitter, and if he's not getting insulted by the Iron Sheik, he calls him, "Hey, is everything okay?"
Yeah. And Hogan gave him a nice tribute when he passed away. Rest in peace, brother, man.
They all loved each other. They all loved each other, right? That's the
Mhm.
funny thing. Like, that was just him. That was just the Iron Sheik, man. Just the way he was, right?
Classic.
And just I knew he wasn't well, but it was a shock to the system because with Superstar Billy Graham, we knew he was sick. We knew he was on life support. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, that one hit hard too, obviously.
He's a bit younger than those guys, or was it 60s, late 50s?
Late mid-50s, I would have to say, right? Early 50s to mid-50s.
No, he wasn't early 50s.
Well,
he was about
mid-50s.
10 years older than Michaels and Triple H. 15.
Really, hey?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does go back to the
I think he's born 58, 59.
So late 50s then, let's say, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Iron Sheik's passing really hit me hard, man. I was quiet for about a day. Like, I mean,
it's too bad, man. Go back and read his Twitter and watch some of his interviews. They're absolutely gold. I recommend anybody to do that. It's so good. If you love wrestling, you're gonna love what Sheik has to say.
Yeah, and remember, 99% of it's all tongue in cheek, and none of it means anything. But it's
great.
But if you turn that part of your brain off and just read it for what it is, you're like, fuck me, man. I'm surprised no one came to kill him earlier.
He's hilarious.
All right. Eric from the Viking Raiders versus Chad Gable. This was the match that was affected. I guess the last two matches were because Raquel only lasted 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and Chad
thing dragged out so long.
Yeah. And Chad beat Eric in a minute
Sunset
and 48.
Flip, 1, 2, 3, it's over.
Yeah, the respective partner managers are here too. Eric takes him down to start, but we pause for Maxine to arm drag Valhalla to the floor. Maxine celebrates like nuts, and the distraction lets Gable get the sunset flip for the victory at a minute 48. Oh yeah, so this is this backstage segment that I was talking about. Finn is talking to JD McDonough when Damian Priest comes in. They're both happy with each other's success, but Priest wouldn't cash in on Balor. Priest says, make it work, and at the end of the Money in the Bank, they'll figure it out if that happens or whatnot.
Yeah.
So straight up, let's get into it. Tag team titles on the line. Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Gunther's chop, a lot of distraction. Gunther gets out of the ring. As Riddle comes out there, I'm not going to go into the details of the match. The match was amazing. It was really good. All four guys
best match tonight by far. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, no, I would have to say so. Definitely.
Gunther's becoming one of my favorites, man. His work ethic, the way he works, he's got that old school tough man feel to him.
It's just trunks. His trunks are simple. Everything
he doesn't wear the knee pads. You know what I mean? Like, I love that guy. He's one of my favorites.
Gunther is the individual, in my opinion, that's selling himself over his gimmicks.
Yeah, totally
agree. Simple, black trunks, black boots. He's letting his work and the character sell him.
Yeah, he's got that European vibe to him. You know what I mean? Like a William Regal, Fit Finley.
He's got that old school. He's got that William Regal, Fit Finley, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Right. If you ever wanted to create a tough man European faction, that would be a fun group, right? That would be a fun group. Okay, so bottom line is Sami catches Ludwig with the Blue Thunder Bomb and gets the pins. The match went 18 minutes and 43 minutes.
They gave him a lot of time.
But they did a great job, right?
It was really good. I enjoyed it.
That's it. This was a long match, but it made the titles feel that much more important, I felt, right? So that was one of the benefits of having it. They put some oomph on the title, which is cool. I'm waiting. I'm surprised they didn't get them new belts. They're probably next
Probably
week.
coming, probably in the process.
Probably next week, right? Um, what else can I pick out of here? I just wrote some notes down. Um, yeah, like you were saying, I'll expand on this. Gunther has an aura to him that makes whatever he does seem important. And Kaiser, you know, Kaiser is just the perfect sidekick for him,
Yes, yeah.
right?
They
You
work
think
well
about
together.
it, right? Like you almost feel like Gunther has a bit more of a heart than Kaiser.
Like when he's beating the crap out of
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like Gunther's the kind of guy, he's ruthless and what, but Kaiser feels that he needs to be one level more ruthless just to impress Gunther,
Yeah.
character wise, right? So that basically was the show, man.
Solid. It was decent. Raw wasn't bad. Just some
No,
good
no,
stuff on there.
I got nothing against the Raw. All right, so why don't we break into some news of the week?
Let's do it. We got
People,
AEW Collision coming up here with CM Punk.
yeah, that's coming up this weekend.
Saturday.
FTR, and CM Punk against Samoa Joe. And the two guys from the Bullet Club, man.
This will be their second premiere show where Rampage is going to be like their NXT now. And they're going to do Dynamite and Collision is like their Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, so it's just be interesting to see. I'm kind of curious.
I don't know what it'll be on Saturday night though. I don't know how it's going to work with UFC, boxing, and WWE.
I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to pick up on that WCW Saturday Night vibe again, right? Let's see if it works. I mean, you don't know until you try, right? I mean, I can't piss on them yet.
There'll be some good eyes on this one because CM Punk's coming back, but I think it'll start to fade out after that.
I think you'll get 3 weeks of solid. But here's the deal, man. Even on these networks like TBS, TNT, Fox for WWE,
And
to a
Collision
certain
will be on
extent.
the zone too. They haven't there.
Right. So, which is interesting because they're showing it on the zone, but I think they have a deal with Impact as well.
Impact's on the zone, yeah.
Right. So that's kind of interesting. All right. So, what stories do we have here today? Okay. So I just heard that AEW wants to bring X-Pac in.
I've seen that he wants to get in shape. He's got to get in shape and he's almost 50. So,
Yeah. I mean, why not bring him in? I mean, I think he could work with Billy Gunn, kind of use some of that and work together.
I mean, if he hears what X-Pac was wrestling on Indies, he could still go pretty well.
Yeah. WWE wants Drew McIntyre back for Money in the Bank in London. Drew has been off of TV since WrestleMania after getting pinned by Gunther in the triple threat match. He is nursing injuries, that's why he has been off TV. I do also know that his contract is coming up pretty soon here, but there are no negotiations or anything taking place to kind of re-up those numbers and get him locked in. I also know that Drew has stated that he's wanting to come back. He's ready, but he's only looking to come back into something meaningful.
He wants to get the belt, get up in this main spotlight again.
Well, it's main spotlight or not, but a meaningful feud, right? Like Drew's a company guy. He understands that coming back doesn't necessarily mean going right after the title. He does what he has to do, and he did a great job. He showed himself really well being a pandemic champion the first year of the pandemic. I mean, that was a tough gig. Unfortunately, I felt bad for guys like him. They never got the opportunity to be a champion in front of the crowd, right?
Yeah, that sucks. Bad timing.
That was bad timing, but I mean, he did really well with it, So yeah, so that's kind of where we're sitting on with Drew McIntyre. He's just healing up. He's getting better. So maybe we'll see him at Money in the Bank. I'm not sure. We'll find out. So, what's her face? Sasha Banks, Mercedes Monet, broke her leg at a New Japan event. So
I heard about that. Yeah.
Recovering. She's got a cast on. She posted a picture of her in her cast saying day 6 of recoveries. So yeah, let's see where she's gonna go, man. So yeah, Collision is gonna air live on the Fight Network in the UK, Ireland, and New Zealand. We'll probably get it here on DAZN and TBS in the States.
AEW's in their tour of Canada, going to Toronto. There's a bunch of shows there.
I wanted to talk about that. They've come to every pretty much province except British Columbia. They won't come here.
I'm surprised.
I don't understand why. When they were in Seattle, I don't see why they wouldn't have come up.
You'd figure that because they can do the Rampage show, they can do Dynamite and Collision,
I'm curious though, because they're going to Calgary, they're going to Edmonton, they're going to cities in Canada that just don't make any sense. But that being said, I guarantee if you watch Dynamite tomorrow night, you're going to get about 4,000 fans in attendance.
Mhm.
Their attendance is shit for Dynamite, to be honest.
AEW was a lot of hype. It was really popular at first, the alternative, but it's starting to fizzle out a bit.
Dude, I could buy an upper bowl ticket, okay? And that stadium is so empty, I could get like a $5 ticket and go sit in like a $50 seat.
Mhm.
Like it's really unfortunate. Like they don't stress it enough. There's moments where they show it, but the way they mask the crowd and do it, like you think about every arena in WWE, every light is on. They're not blacking out any section.
No, you see it.
Right? Wrestling for WWE is super hot right now.
I think Tony Khan, because his dad has so much money, he underestimated the brilliance of the machine that is WWE. They're worldwide. They got all the right people in place. They got the best promoter of all time, Vinnie Mac, steering the ship. And it's like he just thought he could come in and outsmart everybody. And Tony Khan thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. In any room he enters, and he never is.
So well, I look at Tony Khan, and I think the one thing that Rashid being his father, because the Jaguars did so well this year, considering the last 3 or 4 seasons that they've had, he probably hasn't really paid attention to what the fuck his son is doing.
Yeah, that could be too.
Right? I mean, you think about it. I wonder how much money they lose on all their entities.
I'd like to know that.
Right? Like I'm sure
it's only Rashid's a great businessman, and if he keeps losing money, he'll pull the plug eventually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's seen the books. I really don't.
Unless he just gave Tony a bunch of money to play with, you do what you want with it. Maybe
right?
I don't know.
Like I'm just saying because I don't think they've turned a profit in any way.
I don't think so. And I don't much.
They're a private company, so they don't have to disclose anything, right? So from that perspective, we can only guesstimate. I don't see how they can pay all these wrestlers when only 4,000 people show up to an event.
They got to start creating new stars. Besides MJF, they haven't really created any stars.
Well, what did WCW do? They only created one fucking guy in Goldberg.
I guess you count Sting.
Well, I mean, Sting was before Bischoff, right? I mean, he was already there, right? I mean, outside of that,
they did NWO, which is hot, but
yeah, they did, but they're all WWE guys.
I know.
The only guy in that company, in my opinion, I mean, Sting was already there, right? I mean, we're talking about Beach Boys,
Goldberg, Sting, I guess,
right? I mean, Goldberg is the only guy, in essence, that to come out of that WCW factory
that was a big star.
That is a big star and still carries the name today.
He's a cool guy, actually. He's got a great personality, great card collection. He's a cool guy. I'd love to get him on here. He's just got a great, positive personality.
No, definitely. And there's a lot of talk right now that he might have his final match in AEW.
Yeah, I can see that TBS.
Right. So
because Vinny already retired him. He didn't want to retire. Vinny said, "You're done."
Yeah, no, he already retired him. He put him on the shelf, so that's pretty much there. This is interesting because I just don't see any benefit of this. They're looking to repackage Mansoor and Mace again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, okay, I forget Mansoor. Okay, let's just look at this Mace guy. He's a developmental talent in NXT. When the pandemic hits and they switch everything over, they bring him up as a part of the broadcasting team. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then he got the shit kicked out of him by Brock.
Yeah,
on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Then he comes back as a part of that faction, the one that Mustafa Ali was running, with Mia Yim, and where they all had the joystick, they all wore those masks and everything. What were they called? Retribution.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, they were a part of that Retribution. He was a part of that. Then he was a part of a tag team with the guy now.
Mace?
Mace was the Spitballer. The guy. He's in he's in NXT now. Again, he went back. There were the two guys, right? The Mace and whatever the other guy was called. T-Bar. There you go. Yeah. So then he got repackaged there. Then he got repackaged again as Massey or whatever he's called. So this is like a 6th repackaging.
This will be their last chance, dude.
This is Mansoor's 2nd packaging. The only reason this guy's probably stuck around is because of the Saudi deals.
Yeah.
Right? Because this guy's from Saudi.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, he hasn't been on the last 2 cards because they're selling him as a gay Saudi.
I guess the Saudi princes gave a crap about him. It's like they don't want him.
But that's kind of funny. I'm surprised they haven't said nothing, considering that he is a Saudi guy and they're making him sound very, very, feminine.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to say gay Saudi. I apologize if that's wrong.
They could say that.
I don't know. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to say gay.
You still can for now, but I could see them changing it to another word.
Right? Okay. So all apologies. No harm done. We're still learning. We're Generation X. Okay. So sorry, man. What do you want me to do? I know you always like to do on this day, but can I do this one?
Let's hear it.
All right. On this day in 2006, just to show you how old we truly are, DX, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H reunite on Raw.
Yep, I remember that one.
18 years ago.
Yep.
The hell, man. How?
They had a good little run again when they revamped it there. They did some fun stuff together.
They did a lot of fun stuff together, but it was kind of weird.
I think my favorite ones when they did when Shawn Michaels came out as Shane, and then Vince and Triple H came out as Vince. That was one of their best segments.
I thought that was really fun.
Nailed Vince, and Shawn being that goofy kid.
Yeah, no, they hit that on the head.
Brilliant.
My favorite DX moment was the State of Union address that they gave
back in 97, 98. There.
Yeah. Where they said all the things that the networks were saying they can't say.
And they did it, yeah.
They did it anyways. They cut it, like, they just had fun with it. Those were the days that I think they turned Vince gray.
All the stuff, not sure. He doesn't know what they're going to say.
He couldn't say shit to them, but at the same time, he's like, "Fuck, come on, guys, what are you doing?"
Yeah, but he rewarded them later on for executive roles. But they really must have pissed him off in the time, man.
Well, I mean, the only guy who ever paid for anything any of those guys did was Triple H.
Yeah.
No one else paid any.
Because Vince was probably like, you know better. You're sober. You know better than to listen to these clowns.
Well, that plus also, I think Shawn was the top dog at the time, so you couldn't really do anything to him. But true. Hunter took all the shots, man. And Shawn, they asked Shawn, like, why did you come to work at NXT? Like, because Hunter asked me. Well, what does that mean? Because if you think about the relationship we have together and the amount of shit that this guy did for me, like, he took all the heat. Like, it's not lost on Shawn to recognize the fact that he took all the heat for the curtain call and he got no punishment at all.
Yeah, and other stuff we don't even know about.
We don't,
bars
right?
And hotels and stuff.
But think about it. I mean, he's the sober one, so we don't even know half the time he had to carry 3 of those guys on his back.
Can only imagine if Triple H actually tell all the stories about those guys. Look up
how many fights he broke up, how many problems he probably diverted.
Oh, lots.
Right? I guarantee he was not out the night that Shawn got beaten up by 6 Navy guys.
No, he was with Bulldog and somebody else. And
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Caught him in the back.
Right. That's the one time that he wasn't with them.
Usually Shawn had his crew with him, Nash, Hall, Triple H.
Well, that's it. Right? So that's pretty much it. All right, brother man, do you got a top 5?
I do, but this one's a little bit different. We're getting a little bit into your personality a little bit here. And it's more of a guessing game. I want you to name what you think are the top 5 rock and roll selling albums of all time. I'll give you a couple of them are some of your favorites.
Okay, well,
top 5 selling rock and roll albums of all time. If you were to guess them, it's a hard guess. I got the list in front of me, but I know 2 of them already. But
all right, well, Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yep. No.
Dark Side. Sorry. Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep.
From 1972, 73, I believe it was.
Like
that stayed on the charts until 2000 and something.
That's the second best rock and roll selling album of all time. There's only one ahead of it.
There's one ahead of it, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. The Beatles got to be there.
No.
Wow. Okay. I thought the White Album would have been on that list somewhere.
No, top 10, but not
top 10. Okay. So Floyd. Can I give you band names? I don't know if I can remember the albums, but
just give me the name of the band or whatever.
So Zeppelin.
Yep.
It's number 1.
Nope. Zeppelin's number 5. Led Zeppelin 4.
Led Zeppelin 4 is number 5.
You got 3
okay.
more.
3 more. Rolling Stones?
No.
You give me a hint, bro, man, because I mean
they are a band. I've seen many different bands, maybe 30, maybe I've seen 40 different bands in the whole time I go to concerts, and nobody can out-rock these guys. These guys got more hits than anybody, and it's the greatest selling rock and roll album of all time, and the second best selling album period of all time, behind Thriller, the one and only from Australia, ACDC.
ACDC, Back in Black. I figured I was going to go that direction, but I wasn't sure. So Back in Black is #1 selling album of all time. Pink Floyd is #2.
Zeppelin's 5.
Zeppelin's 5. So I got to find 3 and 4.
Yeah.
3
I'll
and
give
4.
you a hint on 3. It's a food that you like to eat.
Bread?
And he
No.
just died last year.
Oh, he just died last year.
And his daughter is dating or married to the guy from Anthrax. That dude with the ugly goatee.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Scott, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And
I didn't realize this guy was his father-in-law.
drawing, this is why it's harder to be on a game show than playing it from your couch, because I could have probably answered all of these if it was someone else.
Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell.
Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. And I do like Meatloaf, man.
Great.
Shout out to Happy. She makes a good meatloaf. Go figure for South Asian woman.
And then the last one, I'll give you a bit of a hint.
Just give me the letter. Just give me a letter of the band's name.
Well, I'll give you a bit of a hint. They have girls and guys singing in there together.
The B-52s?
No, they got many hits.
God, they're all. Another one died the other day.
Yes.
Fleetwood Mac.
You got it. Rumors.
Yes.
Those are the top 5 rock and roll selling albums of all time. AC/DC's 1, Pink Floyd's 2, Meatloaf 3, Fleetwood Mac 4, and the Mighty Led Zeppelin is 5.
Okay, so out of all of those, I have Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl. I have Floyd. I guess I have every Floyd album on vinyl. I believe I have Fleetwood Mac's Rumors on vinyl too.
Great album, dude.
Yeah. I'd have to go check out my collection, but I have a lot of shit down there, man. That wow, I have this one. You know what I mean?
Those are all 5 classic albums in their own right, all different styles too.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, Chance. I tell you what, brother man, why don't we wrap this up here? Call it a day. Thursday, can we drop it?
Let's drop it.
All right, guys. So on Thursday, we have an amazing episode for you guys. Yesterday, we got to sit down with the legendary Cowboy Ryan Carl. A great episode. Basically a follow-up, Chancellor, would you say? We basically just talked about, life after boxing, what he's doing, some amazing things that he's doing. We'll get into all of that with him as well. So guys, please make sure to check it out. We're going to pump it up. We're going to push it out there for you guys. So enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the greatest selling album of all time, AC/DC, we salute you to everybody that downloads, subscribes, and likes the podcast.
Yeah, we do salute you. Absolutely. And in the words of the infamous Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. We will see you guys on Thursday. Everyone, please be safe and enjoy the rest of your week. Samp and Chance out.